Hello, ASVAB warriors. We had already seen this particular slide in our first session, which had explained physical properties which are observable without changing the identity of the substance. Examples are color, odor, melting point, boiling point, density, etc. Chemical properties are with the chemical reactions where the compound is going to change after the reaction is over. Say for example, if you are adding lemon juice in baking soda, these are opposite compounds, acid and base. So they will react with each other and get neutralized to form salt and water. We will move on to the next slide now. Going to study physical changes. So physical changes, definition says that changes that affect the form of a chemical substance. When we are saying form, means state or structure of the chemical substance is going to alter. Example, if we heat ice from 0 degree Celsius to even 1 degree Celsius, it will get converted into water. If you heat water to 100 degree Celsius, which is its boiling point, it will turn into steam. The chemical structure of the substance is one and the same, which is H2O, 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen, which is water. Chemical formula for water. So it is one and the same, but the physical state here, in case when the temperature was low, less than 0 degree Celsius or 0 degree Celsius, it is in the form of ice in the solid state. When you increase temperature by heating, then it has converted into liquid state, which is water. And if you still heat it to its boiling point, then it will turn into steam or water vapor. Each of these components, like ice, water, and steam, are having a chemical formula of H2O only, but the states are different. So this we have studied melting and freezing over here. Now what happens in case of dissolving? If I have a beaker containing water and if I add a spoonful of sugar into it, sugar is solid when I added it by using spoon. And if I mix this using a stirrer or spoon, then what will happen? It will get converted into liquid state. Why? Because it is soluble in water. So now I have sugar. The chemical structure is not altered. It is sugar only. But now it is in the molten form. It is not present in solid state when I have added it into water. Now what I have is a sugar syrup instead of granular or solid sugar. Here on the slide, you are able to see a picture which is showing you melting of ice cream. When it is frozen, it is solid in state. But when the temperature is increasing, like it is thawing, if you take it out from the freezer, then what happens? It starts dripping. So this dripping is because it is solid state is getting converted into liquid state. Water, which was frozen earlier in the form of ice cube, it is getting converted into water. Then in case of boiling, it is also called as evaporation. Liquid state of the water is getting converted into steam. So it is liquid state getting converted into gaseous state. Here also there is a physical change. chemical structure is same. Then if you have paper and if you add it into a shredder, what will happen? The size of paper earlier was A4 size or rectangular. After shredding, what you get is the longitudinal pieces or shreds of the paper. The structure of paper or pulp wood base is the same, but the size and shape is changing. So this is again a physical change. Similarly, if you are chopping a vegetable like tomato or carrot, what happens? Initially, it is a complete form, a whole fruit, whole vegetable is there, and later on what you have is many number of slices are there of the same material. Slice is also of tomato and whole vegetable is also tomato. It is not changing, only its physical form is changing. We will move on to our next slide. Composition is same, but form is changing or physical state is changing. Next is chemical changes. Changes that result in the formation of new chemical compound or chemical substance is called as chemical change. What this means? In case of physical, it was only the form that is changing. Chemical structure was same. Here in case of chemical changes, what happening is substance altogether is changing from substance 1 to substance 2. We will take this first example of combustion. If you have wood, logs of wood are there, and if you made it converted into a fire, what happens is wood after burning, after giving energy, it gets converted into coal, and then later on it is getting converted into ash. Similarly, in case of rusting, what happens is earlier it is ferrous or iron, and once it is combining with oxygen from the atmosphere, it will get converted into Fe2O3 or ferrous oxide, which we call as rust. So chemical structure altogether is different. Earlier it is ferrous and now it is oxidized compound of iron. Next is digestion. What we eat is the simple substances, suppose that we get from plants. So those are like glucose, starch. Now these are broken down by enzymes, by acids, pancreatic juices in our digestive system, and then getting converted into energy molecules and the waste material which is not digested by human being. So here earlier it is glucose or starch and now it is getting converted into energy and the waste matter or fecal matter. Next is rotting or rotting. So this is worms which are acting on fruit. What they will do? Whatever fruit composition is there, whether it is containing majority of carbohydrates, proteins, minerals and fats, that will be getting converted into metabolites after the digestion and use by microorganisms or worms. We will just revise what we have learned. Chemical changes are changes that result in the formation of new chemical substances altogether. Examples are burning, rusting, digestion or rotting. We will move on to the next slide. So this is a question for you. I will read this for you. If you know answer, please write that in the chat box. Which of the following is an example of chemical change? Option A is melting of ice. Option B is dissolving sugar in water. Option C is burning wood. D is tearing paper or shredding of paper. And E is boiling of water. So observe this. All the options, what do you think is the chemical change? Out of these 5 options, only one is the chemical change and remaining are physical changes. So the right answer is burning of wood. Melting of ice is change of state only from solid to liquid. Boiling of water also change of state from water to steam. Tearing paper is change of size. Dissolving sugar in water is change of state, that is from solid to liquid state. So our answer is option C, burning wood. Thank you so much, ASVAB warriors. We will again meet in the next session of properties of matter. Thank you.